people always talk about the word, like the N word all the time. Let's say, okay. So I was going to this school, a little private school, and it was like the second grade, first grade or something like that. All white kids. This one kid, he called me the N word at recess. I got mad, boom, started fighting him, boom, boom. They broke it up, whatever. We go to the principal's office. The principal was like, Sydney, he asked me I remember to this day, first grade, Sydney, were you really mad that he called you the N word? Or did you just feel like you were supposed to be mad? And I was like,
no.
Wow.
No. Welcome to Ashes and Roses, the podcast.
A millennial review of entrepreneurship.
We're your hosts. I'm Junie.
And I'm Ashley. We'll be sharing with you an honest review of our trials and triumphs in business.
The Ashes and the Roses.
On season 2, we'll be inviting other entrepreneurs to share their journey as well.
Join us every Wednesday on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
And as always, we'll be keeping it real,
raw, and revolutionary.
Sydney said we had to play our theme
turn
song
it up,
music.
turn it up a little bit, turn it up a little bit more. Let the people feel it. Okay. All right. So I told you I wanted to start fresh. So we're going to give me a topic and I'm going to see if I can really speak on it or not. And then we can go from there. Let's go.
Okay. Well, we have...
So he just took over the intro.
Yeah, so this is not Ashes and Roses, y'all. This is Sydney's
takeover.
Sydney takeover. Welcome back to another episode of Ashes and Roses. Today is a good one. We got a good one today. We have a great guest in the house with us today. Mm-hmm. Today's topic, we are, as you already know, this season we are challenging the industry. And today's industry is a good one. We're coming for the sports industry. The sports industry. So we have a great guest here to talk about this topic with us. I'll let my co-host Ashley introduce him.
Yes. So this is Sydney Omameh. And when I asked him for a bio, his response to me was, "Don't put him in a box."
No, put me in a box. Do not. You can't do that.
I mean, what introduction would you give yourself, I guess?
How would I describe myself?
Nope, I said what introduction.
What introduction would I give
Would you
myself?
give yourself?
Okay, I'm Sydney
yourself.
Omameh. I'm currently 27 years old, residing in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, I'm out here trying to get money.
Okay. All right. So we usually start with a thought of the day. So did you come with a thought to share with us today?
Come with a thought. Thought of the day. Let's see. I'm gonna look at my phone real quick. I'm sure I have a thought of the day. I write things down all the time. Let's see what I thought about today.
In the meantime, I can give you guys my thought.
Yeah,
What's your thought?
Okay, so I feel like with everything going on in like society, with the like kind of like the Black Lives Matter movement being so huge to where like we're seeing it everywhere now. Mm-hmm. I feel like remember that episode we did on code switching?
Yeah.
I feel like we don't have to code switch so much anymore. Like I feel like I could just be.
That's true. No, that's true.
That's interesting.
Yesterday, I was with my executive director. I'm the director of the school here in Columbus right now. Mm-hmm. The executive director was there, and I was literally chilling, being like just being out there. I asked one of the students, "Hey, record me real quick." He recorded a video of me. I was out there just flexing, chilling, just being and like literally like, you know what I'm saying? She's worth like, she runs like 6 schools. She's worth like millions of dollars, just like, but you know, I didn't have to change who I am to fit in with, you know, whatever society wants me to be.
Right.
You know
I mean, just to at least be in your
Accepted,
career.
you know
Yeah. Because what is your title?
I'm a director, school director.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, like.
That's interesting because I feel like it's a trap.
It's a trap.
What do you mean?
It's a trap.
What do you mean? What do
It's
you
a
mean?
trap.
What do you mean? Like,
I just feel like it's a trap.
all of a sudden they want us to be ourselves while AI is coming in and they're trying to figure people out. Because if we're code switching, then they will never be able to really catch us. And,
right.
You know,
but if we're just being ourselves all the time.
Now AI can actually, like, you know,
pick up on
record that and pick up on it. And
I'm just saying, you know, there's always so like this is like a makeshift, this is like a studio, right? So, and when you watch a show, there's always the fourth wall. So it's like behind what you see, there's something going on. So I just feel like, you know, it's a trap. But you know, that's just how I think.
I feel like life's a trap at that point.
Because I really don't know how to feel about it. Like, should I really be myself?
To an extent. I feel like,
and at that point, what is yourself? Like, you know,
right.
There's so many outside influences that like you go through every day, just looking at your phone and everything else. Like, what is yourself? I feel like to find yourself, you would have to go out in the mountains for 40 days, 40 nights. Like, you have to do some shit like that, like where you're not influenced by anything else that's going on, and like really find yourself.
Yo,
like,
you know what's crazy?
So until you do some shit like that,
everybody who goes and does stuff like that, they always come back like all spiritual.
You know what's crazy? That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
That's the
like,
only.
I have
you know
it planned. Not a mountain. Not going to a mountain.
Like
but
not even a mountain. Anywhere. It doesn't even have to be.
It's not a mountain.
That's
per
what I'm saying.
se.
It doesn't even have to be that
and it's
deep.
not 40 days. You know, it's just I just got
like not touching your phone. Like not you have to really like isolate. Like really.
Yeah.
Be in your own thoughts, not all these outside influences that we get every day.
Yo, that's crazy because I'm planning on doing that, and all I'm planning on taking with me, I'm gonna go somewhere for a week, and I'm just taking like a book bag with like books, and like just a couple clothes to just be comfortable in. But like, I really just want to go see like who am I? What do I want? Like,
Facts.
you know.
Facts.
Interesting thought of the day.
No, but that's crazy. If you want to like bring it back to the sports, or you can go ahead. You have something to say?
No, I mean, no, that was just my thought. That was it.
Yeah. You was talking about the code switching, man. Oh my God. Okay. So let me a little history. This is my first year being a school director. I've been playing sports ever since college. You know, just that's what I've been doing to make money.
What sports specifically?
I've been playing football. I've played for NFL, CFL, AFL, all type of different leagues, you know, so I've seen the ins and outs of the business and everything like that. And as far as you talking about code switching, man, it's the same thing in sport. It's the same thing. Like I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he would like, you know, come in like with his hoodie, dreads and stuff coming in. And you know, one of the coaches was like, oh yeah, you're a thug. He thought he was a thug or something. This dude's not a thug or anything like that. He thought he was a thug. And it was for the Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna tell you, it's for the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
And the coach, and then the coach, it was for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, it just
that just took a turn there.
It took a turn. So this coach really was like after him and was like always like on him, and like the way the NFL works. I don't know if any of y'all know that you can get cut any day. There's people get cut on the flights before games, cut flights after games, no job security unless you're in that like top percent. You know who like signs a long-term contract, they invest a lot of money in you, they give you like 20 mil off the bat, you know, you good, you set. Other than that, they'll cut you the next day and like you'll stop making money. But this coach was after him, thought he was a thug, and it just happened one day. He just like, he has a lot of power. He got at the end of the day, he got him fired, got him cut like that, just because he didn't code switch. Like he could have came in the building, yes sir, no sir, you know, buttoned up and shit like that. But like,
my goodness. This same industry is talking about Black Lives Matter.
Wow.
Man, no,
that's
you can't be yourself.
That's
you got
so
to suck
scary
up.
to me.
It's like that in any corporation, though. I mean, like, I don't know.
And that's crazy. And that just brings it back to our overall point. Like, fight the industry, challenge these industries, these corporations that are making millions of dollars off of us by exploitation.
I don't know if this is like a little too revolutionary, but forget fight them, like replace them. Like that's how I feel. Replace them. Because I don't trust like NFL saying Black Lives Matter. That is a marketing thing. That is a money thing. That is not a I stand with you guys thing. Because we know they don't stand with y'all. Like what?
That's just all marketing.
It's all marketing. Stand with us.
That's all marketing. That's right now. Like it's trending. Like it's cool to be Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, going with it is you're gonna get more than going against it. So they're going with the wave. So you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just going with the wave. And it's a business. I respect that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, like
now I just don't know my enemies are for real. Like
Right.
now I don't know who doesn't like me.
And that goes
who,
back to me saying it's a trap. It's a trap, you know? And then
man.
you saying, like, replace them. Yes, we should replace them. But before we can replace them, we need to be educated about them. And our people are not receiving the education that they need about that, right? Because that's not what's on CNN. That's not what's on MSNBC. Like, the real behind the scenes that at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that the end goal is money. And how do you make the money? You give people what they want. And if right now we want y'all to stand with us, that's what you're going to do, because that's what's going to make you the money. You know what I mean? So it's a trap. Like, nothing that happens in this country is just, nothing is an isolated event. There's a reason for everything, you know?
Fact.
So that's crazy. You really just...
Dang, was that all my thought of the day? Or
That was your thought of the day. We bounced
That
it
was
around.
just the thought of the day.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? We just
crazy.
getting started.
That was just the thought of the day.
Did you find
that was
yours?
Wow.
I had a whole thought. I wrote something down. It was like that you can't spread your leaves in heaven unless your roots are touched down in hell. And I feel like I was like, damn.
I feel that.
Like, you just thought of that yourself?
I had it written down. I don't know where.
Where you got it from?
I don't know where
Can
I got
you
it from.
say-
I
can you
could have
say-
heard it before.
Let me hear it again.
It says your leaves can't spread out to heaven unless the roots touch down in hell.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote that down. I don't know where. Like, it might be me. It might be original, or I might have got it somewhere
Wow.
else.
So it's like the deeper your roots are, the higher.
The higher you gotta have them
reach,
deep roots, but at the end of the day, they've got to touch down in hell. Like, if you want to get to heaven, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
Through something.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be
If that's a quote, you need to credit. We need to find who
Find
said
it,
that.
whatever. Yeah, find who
for
said
sure.
that, because that's just hard.
crazy.
But that started today. But hey, y'all was talking about that sports shit. Let's talk about something. Y'all want to talk about something?
What?
The biggest modern day slavery that is right in front of our eyes. You want to know what it is?
What?
The NCAA.
What's
What is that?
The NCAA, like college football.
Oh. Yes. Y'all not even... They don't even pay them.
It's the biggest modern day slavery.
They don't even
thing
pay
that
them.
will ever, like, new slave. Kanye said we're still slaves. Like, we're still
I
slaves.
know.
Oh my gosh.
We're still slaves.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money they make off the image and likeness of these young black men every year?
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just it's $1 billion organization, like billions.
Yeah.
And these kids aren't getting paid nothing for their image and likeness. Nothing. You could say they're getting tuition, all that tuition. That shit is all cut. It's all in, like, the school isn't losing any money. All like
They don't get nothing. And when they leave that college town and they're
It's
just
still-
on the streets, they're just a regular black man. You
after
know
a
what
couple
I mean?
years, NFL doesn't work out. A couple years, they didn't. Maybe some of them didn't graduate college. They just another man. Toss them
Right.
back. You know what I'm saying? Toss them in, toss them out. Man, I
Right.
seen shit crazy.
Wow. That's crazy. But I mean, I feel like that's why we felt like you were the best person for this industry specifically, because you have such a long history and like you've dealt with like different levels.
Different levels, tops and
Right.
bottoms, like
Yeah.
tops in betweens. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But you know, like at the end of the day, like karma still, like I really truly believe in karma, and it really comes back around, because like I feel like right now that industry is probably hurting, right? Because nobody's going to school, nobody's in the stand.
I'm gonna tell you the bitch, but they already made their bill. Like they're rich.
They made their
No,
money.
they've made their money. Don't get me
Off
wrong.
something has to happen where we can go back and get all these people their money that they deserve.
Oh, really? So
It
that's
has to be like
so
I know
my
they're about
thing,
to.
So here's my thing. The thing is I understand that yes, like reparations, like we are owed for, and those people they're owed for their service and their work and all of that. Like what happened was messed up, and I definitely think that needs to be addressed. But at the same time, I feel like we need to. The thing that we should focus on is, once again, overtaking the industry. Like why?
Right.
Why is the industry still ran by white men
Right.
when it's black men who they need? Like I don't understand the black men who make it. Why isn't the industry like, especially
the way the
during
system
this
set
Because
up.
time?
it's such a positive like thing too, because the team spirit that you build by being on a team and the brotherhood that you guys build, that's something that black men need, especially those who are growing up in situations without male figureheads. So that's something that would benefit and enrich our company. So how do we get to the place where we're owners and not players. You know what I mean?
If it was black people running the NFL,
or not
right?
just players.
If it was black people running the NFL, it would be a system where, okay, we know there's so many black boys trying to enter the NFL. The numbers obviously don't make sense for everybody to make it. If you don't make it into the NFL, there should be other pathways, other successful pathways, like solid pathways for them to go to, and for them to not feel like, okay, where now what? Yeah, exactly. Now that like my dream.
I feel like that's a dream.
It's like a lottery almost.
It's a dream.
Especially for some sports, like basketball, I think it's like less people, right? They take
way less people.
You see what I mean?
For
like, that's
NBA,
a lottery, man.
People. Yeah. There's like 12 people on a squad. Like NFL, there's like 56 now.
Wow. Yeah. But I know a lot of guys who, like, their goal was to get to the NFL, was to play professional football.
That's the craziest thing. That was never even my goal, honestly. Like, I didn't. It just really, literally came to me. Like, it literally came to me. I almost stopped playing football in college. I went to my coach. I was like, man, I'm done. Like, he's like, man, just keep playing. Like, what the fuck are you, like, talking about? I was like, okay, whatever.
Why were you done?
I was done because I was like, I'm about to just use my brain. Like, I'm not getting money right now. I was in college. Wasn't getting money. Like, I was like, I'm about to just use my brain and just go off. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, just keep playing. It's not like I didn't have fun doing it, but I just wasn't, it wasn't seeing immediate results. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then it just happened, like, I played one more season, and the next season, like, NFL scouts there every practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in camp, me and my dude DeAndre, Dez, like, NFL, like, they was just there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then from that point on, I was like, okay, let's do this. And then, my brother was already in the NFL. There's so much shit. There's so much shit. Y'all can't get my whole story.
Right, exactly.
Right.
More than I know
right
now. So.
Right. So, now that that was a really good thought of the day. I mean, I feel like that was a lot of the meat of the conversation, but knowing you, Sydney, there's plenty more. There's more to come.
Sure.
So,
I'll squeeze more out of them.
Yeah. So typically this is a host segment where it would either be an Ashley's Analogies or a Junie's Jewel. But since you're a guest host today, you have the opportunity to kind of talk to our audience, really tell them what you do, what type of entrepreneur are you, what field are you in, what are your projects, and where they can find your information.
Okay. I know you guys asked me before this to like see what kind of entrepreneur I am. When I saw the list, I was like, there's no way you can define me like that. Like, I can't put me in a box. Like, it was all like, I was like, I'm this one, and this one, and maybe a little bit of this one sometimes, and then that one on Tuesdays. So I was like, all of them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what type of entrepreneur I am? Is that what question you asked me? What type of entrepreneur I am? I'm the type that I just have so many base ideas that I don't know what to do. Like, I have so many ideas. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm just going with the flow because, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm blessed. Like, I've just been able to just go from one situation to the next pretty smoothly. Like, I haven't really had to steer off my path and been like, oh no, what am I about to do? Like, everything's just really been smooth. I went straight from high school, college football, played football after that, and then now I just moved like easily into a school director position, kind of based off of sports, really. Like, it was through a sports connection. So, sports are so much deeper than people give them. Like, as she was saying, I'm gonna run it back to that. Like, as far as growing up and having sports in your life, like, that's I feel like one of the most impactful things that we can do for our young black men right now is get them in organized sports when they're young. Just building those relationships off the streets, having a common goal, just reaching for something, like striving towards something, like it just translates all through life. Just like, the relationships you build, traveling, making friends, working as a team to get something done. You have to put in work at that, you know what I'm saying?
Like just having a dream, a vision, and then like
working
all towards
of that.
it.
And just having fun, being with people, working towards a common goal. Like, that's always going to be a good time.
Right.
Work with one person over, it's just always going to be. And we don't have that system set up for our young black men in communities. I mean, like, it's out there, but I'm talking about organized sports. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So explain the difference for people who may be listening and not understand. Like what's the difference between just sports versus organized?
Just sports. I'm talking about like people just like, okay, let's go play basketball outside. Let's go, like, people be playing basketball, but I'm talking about like getting teams together where you have practice every single day. Like, oh, you have to report at this time, you know what I'm saying? Be early. Like, just accountability. Like, okay, practice every single day. Like, most kids, they don't. I just know I'm now seeing this just because I'm a director of the school. Like, they don't have that accountability. Like, be here this time. Like, they need to learn that, and it could start early with like sports. That's just like they don't have
so much
that
discipline in
the white kids have that shit. They have no,
Yeah,
they do. They do.
I know,
The
because I
white
went
kids,
to those schools.
White kids have it. Red's like, oh no, I can't have lacrosse practice at 3:30. Like, they already have that like schedule, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that work ethic built in.
But I think it goes much deeper than that. I don't think we can just blanket say like because not everybody has the opportunity to play sports. Not everybody has the opportunity to go to a school that offers sports. And then on top of that, then find transportation to play at the next school. You know what I mean? Not everyone has the same opportunity. Some Black kids, the closest they'll get to it is that the park. You know what I mean? So how do we organize park basketball? How do we organize that? Because they need it on all levels.
For me, I'm looking, but from the entrepreneurial side, the eye, right? So all of these players, like not all players have this amazing story of you transitioning from football to director. Not everybody has the story. So like this same passion that you have about like, organized sports made a difference in my life, and I know it's gonna make a difference in these kids' lives. I'm sure a lot of them have that same passion and that same feeling. And why isn't there like something created for that? Like, and I just feel like if Black people own the NFL, this thing would have existed already.
But how do Black people get to owning the NFL? We don't just wake up and can own the NFL, right?
It's collaboration. You come together. It would take one team to put all their money together and take over the NFL.
People don't like change.
Right. But let me tell you where it starts, though. All of these churches, right, that has all of these Black families bringing their children in, start a church team, a basketball team, a football team, whatever, charge a fee, tithe and offering, use that money to invest into our youth, right? From then, if somebody, because there are a lot of guys too who have professional sports background, and then like they're coaches in the community. Like on Facebook right now, I'm seeing guys that I went to high school with who went off and played in the NBA, and now they're coming home and they're doing basketball camps. Stuff like that, like giving back to the community. That's where it's gonna start. And if you can figure out how do I not only be a coach but be also the entrepreneur who brings this to this community, right? So now instead of communities of like gangs fighting each other, how about we have communities who compete? How about we have tournaments instead of shootouts?
Man, that's
what I mean.
That's what I was saying. Organized sports. That's what I was bringing it to. You really broke it down, though. You broke it down,
right? Because you have to break it down because that's the thing. Like not all of us are on the same level of consciousness or understanding. So you have to break it down to the point where the person who is living in this zip code versus the person who's living in like another one, both can understand. Because it's not like the content isn't out there, but is it out there in a situation where everyone can break it down and listen to it and understand what you're trying to say? You know what I mean? Right. That was a mouthful.
So are you saying like that's like is that your what? So where were you going with that?
That's one. Have I told you about that idea about opening up the gym?
No. Well, actually, I think I've heard a little bit about it. Yeah, you told me a little. Oh yeah, that was a minute ago. So you're still in.
It was a minute ago.
Okay.
But I wanted I seen this. I'm the school director now. You know what I'm saying? Sports programs, all that. Boom, boom. I could make a facility where it can be like tutoring in school on one level, but at the bottom level, they have like the basketball court, boom, facility, like a facility. So something like that, but like it's open to like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be like a way that they can file for like support, like if they're below a certain income, and still have their kid go there. Have after school programs, somewhere to take their kid, and they can still have all that recreational with coaches and still have tutors, tutors in school, there on site. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I know a very good grant writer, and I feel like I can get something like that set up.
Okay, so you want the nonprofit route for sure.
Unless I
Why?
can get some investors. I mean, who's trying to invest? I haven't really put the idea out there much, but I could just go the nonprofit route.
I mean, you don't even have to go the nonprofit route. You can go the chartered route.
The charter.
Oh, for the school or for the gym?
Oh, I'm already the director of a charter school. I'm talking
Yeah,
about, so
you're
it's
talking
gonna be
about the
connected.
gym.
But
I
what
could
I'm
connect
saying
it.
is, you don't have to. I didn't say that correctly. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to start out. Well, I mean, it really just depends on what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So.
I need to get the facility first, but that's definitely as far as getting the sports together.
So your gym would be connected to the school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, but if you create an entity and you get the grant, you can get a grant to pay for the facility.
Exactly. And it's just going to be based off of the fact that I don't even need the grant for anything except for the fact that I want kids to be able to go for free. Like, that's the only, I want kids to be able to go for free.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't realize that, like, I thought that they would still have sports.
You think there would be something like sportswear?
Like organized at charter schools.
My school has basketball.
Some do.
My school has
Some do.
basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some do.
I'm just talking about like kids below like high school, like all that, like younger than that. I don't know.
Okay.
Younger, like.
I see. Okay.
I actually have a really good resource if you want to like really learn how to build a nonprofit from
For real?
the ground up. Mm-hmm.
Let me look into that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. All right, so let's get into. So I feel like this conversation is we've hit so many different points in like the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to know like exactly what we're rating, because I think overall there's goods and bads, right? So we kind of mixed it in there. But what would be some definite ashes or cons?
Before you rate it though, I'm kind of gonna put you out there. But so he was telling me that you were saying that you really weren't feeling that we chose the sports topic for you. So do you mind like explaining like why that is?
Because I know that coming up, you know, when people say you play sports or something like that, they automatically put you in this box and make all type of assumptions and all that. Like, it's really, I mean, no matter what you want, like, you already did it. Like, listening to this, you already did it. You already put me in a box just by hearing sports or whatever like that. And I just don't want that affiliation. Like, I feel like people who don't have that sports affiliation on them, like, it's just so much broader. Like, people's minds just, like, think different things, you know what I'm saying? But if it's sports, you just try to put people in that. It's a very strict box that people put.
But that's the thing,
that's
though,
the point,
because you are so
it.
different, you're so different, you're showing that just because I do sports doesn't mean that I have to be like this. Like, the reason why we think a certain way about people in sports is because they only show one way, one type of athlete.
That's all you guys see. Usually.
No, it's what's
That's
out there
what's
in the
shown.
media.
That's what's out
shown.
there. I
That's
mean,
what's getting attention.
Right.
That's what they're marketing. That they're marketing that aspect of them. Like, that's
Right.
So
So
that's why we're having this
their
conversation.
perspective being heard.
Exactly.
But like now, you know, people listening to this will see, you know, people in sports in a different light. Like everybody's different.
Mm-hmm. And that just falls in line with just challenging the industry.
But sports
and
is a huge thing in your life, man.
Exactly. Like I don't think you can.
You've done it for years. Like you've literally.
I can't get rid of it. It's there.
Like you would be considered like an expert after so many times that you that you're
master.
Yeah. So why would you not want to put that like?
Because there's so much. Because I told you, like, at the end of the day, like, it was never really my dream. Like you said, kids dream of that and all that. It was never my dream to be. I'm telling you, I just literally, it was just naturally something I was good at. Just kept doing it. Didn't really like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, oh, I wanted. It was never my dream. Wow. So like, why am I gonna?
So what is your dream?
Settle that. What is my dream? I have dreams all the time.
But what's the ultimate? Like, what's that one dream that you're like, I gotta get there?
I would say to not be a slave anymore. I just want to be free.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
We're a slave to a lot of things.
Yep.
So.
I'm a slave to a lot of things, and things that some of the things are in my control. Some of the, I mean, I would like to think everything's in my control, but.
You know what you were saying? I don't know if it was earlier on my thought of the day or yours, but when you were talking about how social media, like everybody's thoughts are in your head. So like, what is your thought? Actually, it was your thought of the day. That's why I stopped social media, because it's like, no, there's way too much.
You gotta take breaks. You definitely gotta take breaks.
Yeah, and actually, it feels like a nice break. I was realizing that I was like a slave to social media. Like, I would literally wake up and be on there. Like, I wouldn't even want to be on Instagram, but somehow I'm on Instagram.
So I'm saying they haven't even done. I hope they do studies one day on how all this stuff affects us. Like, I hope they do it. Like, it's all new and everything like that. Like, they don't really know the effects that has on our brains and like the way we process information. Period. Like,
actually, I was having a conversation with someone. So I'm listening to this audiobook called Sapiens, and I was having a conversation with my friend, and we were just kind of talking about the book, and it does talk about. I don't know if you were a part of that conversation. Well, no, it was during our meetings, our morning meetings, and she was talking about there are studies that show that technology, like us who are in the millennial age group, technology has played in slowing our development. So social media. So we've remained in the adolescent phase.
So there's a lot of adults that still are like in the adolescent phase.
Right.
I could see that though.
And I can see that when you think
but I could see that though, because I always look at social media, like I feel like social media is like high school. Like, we still see everybody has like their cliques. The popular people are, have all these followers and all these friends and all these likes, and like I feel like it's kind of immature. So I could see that.
That's why my social media, I'll literally post. I feel like anything. I feel like people are so scared to like make it like a wrong move on social media or something. Like, I'm the director of a school and I post.
It can definitely be used against you.
Definitely. Like, you're saying they're afraid like for no reason.
No,
people are losing their jobs off of what they say on social media.
I'm talking about people afraid to like post themselves, to like post what they're like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about people like, I have to post a perfect picture, or perfect pose, perfect caption, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, people thinking way too much into social media and not using it like it should be used just to post anything.
I know.
Yeah.
People don't post anything anymore. Like, unless you have a business page, I'll get it, like, make it straight business. But other than that, like, I guess it is your own personal brand, but like
it is your personal.
But it's
brand.
your fake. Like, why y'all so fake? Why are they really so fake?
I mean, corporations are fake too. So
you gotta be
been conditioned to be fake.
Right. But that's something that I really struggle with though, because I have a business. Like, I worry that what if my personal page is off brand? But like, what the heck? I'm an individual. Like, that's the thing. That's really annoying. Like, I'm an individual. Yes, I have a business, and yes, I like to blast Cardi B in my car when I'm driving down the street with my windows down. Who cares?
That's what I'm saying. But would you put that on social media?
I mean, no, I don't care. I don't care for social media like
you
that.
See what I'm saying?
But
it's
I'm
not even about care for it. Like, would you do it? Like, would you just like express yourself like that to the world?
No, why? No.
Why not?
I don't know.
That's what I do.
I kind of use my social media. If you're really looking at my social media with like an artistic or creative eye, I really tell a story about my life. Like, it's a story. It's like a collection of my memories, that you get to join in on and kind of share. I feel like I use it in the way that, it's an outlet.
I used to enjoy it, but now there's just way too many people on there. Now, freaking, they're manipulating you and controlling your actions. Like, nah, we getting too far. Like, back in the day, I used to be active. Like, I used to enjoy, I could post anything, whatever's on my mind. I used to actively use Twitter, actually. I used to be on Twitter. Yes, I was. I was a tweeter.
Wow. I didn't know that. Like,
I used to tweet on a regular basis about my feelings and everything.
Why you didn't follow me?
It was way back, like high school, like I think freshman year of college.
I feel like I was on Twitter, but when I was younger, I feel like those things I was always lying on there because like I don't know. I just feel like why everybody have
you lied on Twitter.
Space? When I was younger, I would just say stupid stuff.
Say anything.
Yeah. But that mean nothing.
That's what it's for. That's what Twitter's for.
But no, it's turned into so much more now.
They try to.
Because I agree, because people's voices are being silenced, and that's not right. That's not right at all.
Twitter is the ultimate like freedom of expression platform. Like you could just say anything
until you say something that Black Twitter doesn't agree with, and then it's over.
Then you get canceled.
Then you're canceled. You lose your job. You probably lose your man, your girl.
Yeah.
Black Twitter will come for your whole life.
What is with that cancel?
You lose
stuff?
your dog.
What is with just because like a mass majority of like people don't agree with somebody, then like they have to be abolished. They have to be
abolished.
So to me that's very controlling. It's like we might as well have a dictator because
if you don't go this way, if you don't go in this direction,
because it's not freedom of speech.
It's not freedom of speech. None of that. Like all these people, we're still slaves. We're still slaves. Like everybody's, you can't think for yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to think the way you think people want you to think. Like that's the craziest thing.
And the crazy thing is like everything that we think matters, like really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna take you back. Let me tell you guys a story. It just popped into my head. People always talk about the word like the N word all the time. Let's say, okay. So I was going to this school, a little private school, and it was like the second grade, first grade, or something like that. All white kids. This one kid, he called me the N word at recess. I got mad, boom, started fighting him, boom, boom. They broke it up, whatever. We go to the principal's office. The principal was like, Sydney, he asked me I remember to this day, first grade, Sydney, were you really mad that he called you the N word? Or did you just feel like you were supposed to be mad? And I was like,
no.
Wow.
No. What?
I'm like,
wait a minute. Who asked you this? The principal?
The principal asked
like
me.
You're not agreeing. Let him finish the story.
No,
go ahead.
the
Let me
principal
hear
was
you.
a white man?
He was a white man.
Okay.
Let me hear you.
He was a white man.
Go ahead.
And I was like, it's just a word. Like, honestly, if nobody told me, if somebody, actually, my parents never even said, like, if somebody calls you this, fight them. If somebody calls you this, get mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? If nobody ever said, like, if nobody said, who told people that? Like, if somebody calls you this word, you should get mad and react in a certain type of way. Like,
I think that's,
that is conditioning, though.
it's conditioning.
Okay, yes, it is conditioning. It is conditioning, but there was a period of time where there was a negative connotation to that. People were literally chanting that word watching Black people die. So I don't think it's fair to just be like,
it's an insulting word.
Because it comes with, it's not just like it. There are certain things that trigger you. Like there are certain things like aromas and scents and words that bring you back to a memory. So that word has a connotation that is associated with trauma for certain people. And no, they don't want to see it coming out because some people feel that you calling me this because some white people are saying it in the way that they were saying it back then. You get what I'm saying? Whereas some are just saying it in a song or just think, you know what I mean? So I think it's.
But I think what he's saying is when you really like take a step all the way back, does it really matter?
That's the first thing you said was doesn't matter, and that's where I brought it to this whole story.
To the bigger
doesn't
aspect
matter.
of life, like does that matter? Because it really is. We really give words power. Words are powerful. Don't get me wrong. Words are definitely powerful.
So powerful.
But like,
if you feed into it, if somebody comes up and calls me, "Hey, Sydney, you're stupid," I'm like, okay, like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
powerful.
I know it's only powerful
if you believe
when
it.
it triggers you, right? Okay.
So if somebody says, "Hey, Sydney, you're like," okay, what does that mean? Like, what is that gonna like? You know what I'm saying?
Words.
I'm not offended by the N word. I'm not.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not. And you like people saying like, oh, white people saying it, like don't say it. Like if you say it in the song, rapping along the songs, like that shit's ridiculous to me. Like, oh my God, it's really song,
like for example, like if there were like alien beings watching us, they'd be like, what?
Yeah, they're
like,
really
this
over.
Is really like a thing that we.
And I get it, like, you know, the word goes back, whatever. But like, it's only gonna give as much attention as we give to it, and we're always giving it so much attention. So like.
Right. So I want to bring it back to our topic and go back to our rating. So because I feel like this could go like on and on.
Yeah,
and on.
Sure, yeah.
So what are some definite ashes and roses that you would give about the sports industry and your experience with it?
So I gotta your terms. The ashes is
the
like
ashes are the cons, like definite
okay.
cons, and then the roses are the pros.
Okay, where should I start? What you think?
Cons. Yeah, the ashes.
Okay, ashes. Cons of the sports industry. I mean, just the fact that people are being exploited, their image and likeness, and aren't getting paid nearly what they should be getting paid or what people are making off of them. The percentage is crazy. Like they're making way more money off of them than they're getting than they're earning. So, another con would be just the whole politics. I told you about it. Like my friend going in there getting cut, like you're a thug, like that. Like the whole politics. Like people don't understand. There's a whole political organization behind like NFL and all that. Like it's all politics. Like who knows? I mean, like with any industry, who knows who did, you know what I'm saying? So like that's definitely a negative. What's another? I don't know.
Okay.
Those are pretty good.
What about the pros? The
pros, connections. It just opens you up. You're traveling everywhere. Like football's taking me how many states? You know what I'm saying? Like Canada, taking me to Canada. Out of the country. So just connections, meeting people. I got this job now through a connection that I made through sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, other positives. I mean, it is giving people money. At the end of the day, it is giving people money. I mean, not as much money as they should be getting or earning, but it is giving money to a lot of people that in other opportunities, in other cases, wouldn't get this opportunity to make this type of money. You know what I'm saying? It's changing lives for sure. Positives, and I'll just live it like relationships, just like So
that's cool. I'll go next with the ashes. Especially right now, I don't appreciate how when I watch ESPN, I can't even watch it with a straight face anymore because like literally every other thing, they're just like they bring up this whole everything going on with Black Lives Matter, but it's just like I don't trust those industries at all. So to me that's a major con. The other thing is I don't really appreciate college students not getting paid either. Like I really couldn't believe I knew some athletes in college, and I mean they would not even be able to have like food, like money for food and stuff like that sometimes. So I'm just like that's strange to me. And then to not even be able to have your own jersey or make money off of your own name, like
buying your jersey.
How did we think that was cool? That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's making money. Like somebody who's the money going to? Not the people. That's.
I hope that whole industry comes crashing down. Like boom.
They call it an amateur. They call NCAA they call them amateurs, even though the players are amateurs, even though they're making. Yeah, that's what they call it, amateurs.
Wow.
Even though they're making money off of their image and likeness, they sell their jerseys, sell all their merchandise.
And
they come to watch them play.
And
they work. They full-time schedule. They work a full-time schedule.
And they still have to like go to class.
Yes.
That's crazy, man.
And make good grades.
Yeah. So
I don't
know.
Like,
that industry needs to be replaced.
It does.
It's an important industry.
Change.
I think it's great. Yeah. I think that it brings people together. That's a rose. Like sports really does bring it brings people together. Like I really wish that I was into sports just so that I could like have something in common with other people. Okay, I really feel like my relationships with particularly white people would be a lot stronger if I like had a sport.
Something to talk about.
Yeah, because I feel like that's why Black men easily make your way up with these, white corporations because you guys have more in common, like with white men than we do.
Talk about different stuff.
Yeah. But another positive thing is I do agree that I like that it puts money in the hands of like, young Black boys, and hopefully like they do great things with it. And a lot of athletes have been doing great things. And I think like even though like the Black Lives Matter that they're saying is not, I don't think is really like honest. I still think that our Black athletes like literally have made history in this time, forcing their corporations to at least say it.
Yeah, acknowledge them.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
So my ashes, one ash that I would, we didn't really touch on is that I feel like, especially the sports industries and especially the NFL in particular and just the football industry doesn't really put enough emphasis or highlight on the injuries that these players sustain, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And how even though they're injured, they're still working them, literally working them until their body can no longer push through and push forward. Slaves. I feel like that's, like, why aren't we talking about that? You know, like so many football players who talk about their history of concussions and now they're violent. Like football players who are retired, like why are they so violent? Why are they ending up in trouble? Why are they ending up in prison? Like I feel like enough has happened for us to notice that that's a trend. So why aren't we talking about that? So I would say that's like my main ash because I think
that was deep.
I think you guys covered most of them, and and I would in addition to that, like just the picture that they paint for kids, you know, like it's all, you know, roses and butterfly, and it's like it's not, you know, like let's be real, let's be realistic. There are men who are dying and suffering because of football. So a rose, my roses would be just the fact that it does give. You know, like I watched my brother grow up playing sports. Like, you know, both of my brothers are in sports. And just like, they're just such developed young men. And it's just like, you know, there's like certain levels of discipline that they received from that. And I would say that's a rose of you know, the sports industry. Another rose, of course, you know, seeing people be able to change the lives of their families off of these, you know, contracts and playing sports professionally. So, you know.
Yeah, ups and downs.
Ups and downs.
Up and downs, like with everything in life.
I played sports, so, you know, like, I feel you on, like, the whole team player. Like, I remember doing that in high school and stuff, so. I would put
lessons. It translates all through life. I feel like all those lessons you learn in sports just translate.
Yeah. If I get to raise kids, I'm definitely putting them in sports for sure.
I don't know about football, like she was talking about with the injuries and everything like that. But, you know.
Oh yeah, football I would avoid. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just some type of organized thing where your kid is socializing and having to be disciplined and follow.
It could even be like
structure.
Artistic. Yeah, it could even be like, you know what I'm saying. It doesn't even have to be sports related. Just like something organized, just to like keep them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Wow, this was a really good conversation. This is really great. Man. I mean, this was just. Thank you for joining the conversation. Seriously. I feel like you really got the flow. Like a lot of times, you know, when we talk to people about coming on the show or being on an episode, they're like, "Oh, I don't know," and we're like, "It really is a conversation. Like it's not."
Did you feel like it was a conversation?
Facts.
Yeah.
That's why I told you I didn't even want to hear the topic, nothing like that. I was just trying to talk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We just here talking.
Yeah.
So we usually end off with a quote of the day. Do you have a quote to share with us by any chance?
Let me check my phone.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my quote then. Okay. All right. So my quote is, "Faith in false prophets is worse than no faith at all." And that
repeat that. I don't think they heard you.
Faith in false prophets is worse than no faith at all. That's
people aren't gonna hear you though.
What you mean they're not gonna hear me?
Because everybody thinks that their prophet is, you know, the real prophet. I mean, if you believe
so
in a
really consider, you have to understand that, like, if you're believing in a false prophet, that really take into consideration, like, you know, is what you believe really true? Because it's worse than not having any faith at all.
I feel like you can never believe until you like give yourself the opportunity not to believe. I feel like, you know, to like search and see other things. Like if you just believe in one thing and just always like, okay, this is it. Like I'm not looking at anything else. Like this is it. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to really believe. You're just like following blindly. Like if you, I feel like you should veer off. And if you come back to that, then like, you know, that's when you
Right. And then I the way that I am taking the quote, and it actually fits perfectly with what we were just talking about, as far as like the way the sports industry is, like, you know, saying Black Lives Matter. Do they really mean it? To me, it's like the faith in that, faith, you know, believing in that. Yeah, it's like it's easy to trick you. It's easy to come up from behind you, and, like, you know what I mean? So I think that quote actually came from The Blacklist. Ooh. Reddington all day. Okay.
Look at that. We're just gonna do a little shameless plug. You ready, Sydney?
Do I got a quote?
Yeah.
I don't got no quote.
You ain't got no quote?
Okay, it's all good.
It's okay. I think you got some quote-worthy lines. Yeah, you got some quote-worthy lines.
For real. So now Junie's gonna leave us here with.
Yes. So once again, just thank you for joining us. You know, I always gotta leave y'all with a good quote to end your day and to ponder upon. And this quote, like, it just happened to just fall into line with everything that we talked about as far as our organized sports and, you know, creating a legacy and changing it for, you know, kids who look like us. This quote is by the late great Kobe Bryant, and it says, "Once you know what failure feels like, determination chases success." So enjoy your day. We'll see you next week on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And thank you, Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney.